Thank you for considering our Surface Use and Damage Essentials course. It is the most comprehensive course of its kind available today by way of the 300-plus years of our unequaled advisory board members' hands-on executive experience in this field, and is one of the most misunderstood skill sets for most landmen, besides being greatly needed because of its wide impact on modern-day drilling and right-of-way operations. Most landmen do not have a vast amount of experience when it comes to fully understanding how to draft these types of agreements, especially dealing with landowners who are considered pros or companies such as land trusts. It also sets the stage to start the process and whether or not such an agreement is even needed on land considered empty lands. This course will discuss several key and critical issues in great detail regarding this subject, and in each chapter we get into many facets of the title of that chapter, as you will see from some of the following highlights. This course has been updated and expanded and is the most comprehensive discussion on this subject matter we have created to date. Every effort has been made to anticipate the questions you may have and to include information in this course that will help answer them. Our goal and focus has always been to provide the best training available for all aspects of the petroleum and alternative energy industry, from beginners to the most experienced. We realize that you need to be able to keep broadening your knowledge base regarding the different skill sets needed to succeed as a landman or right-of-way agent in today's industry. We have assembled what we believe is vital information which will be helpful for those working in the skill set of dealing with surface damage and use issues while either leasing, drilling, or making acquisitions of existing wells. Therefore, it is our sincere hope that after taking this course, you should be able to better understand this subject and how it applies to all aspects of pre- and post-drilling activities. This chapter is needed so the landman can better understand what he is dealing with when it comes to oil and gas operations and what those activities could possibly do to the landowner's land. This chapter is titled The Life of a Well. It takes all surface use and damage issues into account from the very beginning of the drilling process to the abandonment process and land restoration. This chapter covers dealing with people who do not own minerals under the land and are very opposed to any drilling or right-of-way activities on their land. It presents different strategies on how to avoid an adversarial relationship with the landowner, for example. It also addresses the use of the reasonable accommodation doctrine and the best available technology theory, and thoroughly addresses the settlement options of arbitration versus binding mediation, their differences, and when they should each be used. This chapter goes into great detail regarding the pitfalls and negotiation issues when trying to settle land damages and use issues with a land trust. It explains what they are, if they are actually legal, and has several examples along with an actual example of an exhaustive agreement that was finalized with a large land trust in Colorado. It also covers conservation easements, environmental and scenic values, and issues surrounding wildlife. It also presents a viable way to negotiate with a land trust. This chapter goes in depth regarding avoiding an adversarial relationship with either the landowner or land trust. It also covers utilizing existing roads and what rights actually exist in this regard for the lessee and that are available or not available via the oil and gas lease. It provides an inside look at how to establish crop values, scenic values, and livestock values. This portion of the course covers the rights of landowners and their remedies against damage and use issues, such as arbitration and/or binding mediation, their differences, and when it is best to use one or the other. We have included a very thorough discussion regarding what we call critical issues, which is an eye-opener for most and covers topics such as damage to livestock, crops, scenic values, environmental issues, endangered species, pre- and post-drilling activities, plugging and abandonment issues, temporary and permanent roads, removing pipelines, fences, and cattle guards, drill site and production facility specifics and plans, CRP programs, seismic issues, and much more. This portion of the class deals with the landowner's common remedies, such as restraining orders. This chapter goes into detail about the landowner's responsibilities and what they could be liable for. even being refused access to any drilling or production facility sites. This is the part of the class that brings to light the many different specific surface use issues as they pertain to the many facets of pre- and post-drilling activities. Chapter 15 deals with the reasonable necessity rule and points out some critical issues surrounding it for all parties. This brings to light a subject that could dramatically alter the agreement in a negative way for the lessee. This chapter introduces a newer approach for operators by way of entering into a surface damage and use option agreement. It provides the rationale and examples. This is a really solid tutorial on how to calculate damage and crop values. Our workshop gives the student parameters surrounding settling damage and use issues with the Colorado Agriculture Cattlemen's Land Trust and presents a variety of issues the student will need to address. This is an actual example of a surface damage and use agreement between a land trust whereby the landowner did not own the minerals, but the state where the minerals were located did. The land is located in a very scenic part of the country, and the agreement addresses such issues as the landowner's existing ranching operation, as well as wildlife and scenic issues associated with the land's location. We want to thank you for considering us for your educational needs. We have many courses which complement each other and that are meant to expand your knowledge, abilities, and your career, so please visit our website, www.professionallandmanschools.com, for more information.